It definitely worked. It helped me handle a very difficult situation. My question to Ra Un Nefer Amen is, and I dropped this in the chat, I was recently presenting at this International African Spirituality Symposium, dealing with the question of if the ancient Kemetic civilization was so great and was the height of the golden age of African spirituality, what is the reason for why did it fall and that African people are suffering the way they are now? And I had used the Law of Herukhuti, right, in my explanation. My question to you is, on an individual level, we have the protection that is within our control. Does that also extend to the collective level? And is it correct to say that the internal decline of the old kingdom in Kemet, where our own historians have said that we went from the spiritual practices and started gravitating more to just the external rituals, as if performing the rituals themselves in and of themselves was enough. The success of that civilization, the material wealth, brought this decline where collectively the civilization wasn't living according to the laws, and therefore the automatic effect of the Law of Herukhuti caused the shield of protection to weaken, which allowed the first foreign invaders to come and triumph. Am I understanding and applying the Law of Herukhuti collectively to that collective historical example? Thank you.
You're muted, sir.
Thank you very much for your question. It's one that many students have asked. Just look very carefully around the world. You will see that all things, animate and inanimate, goes through cycles of birth, growth, decay, and death, only to come back again to repeat the cycle. You see that? Ancient Egypt was born, the one that we know and experience, because there has been certain what they call great solar episodes that last 25,920 years. So the one that we lived through lasted about some 6,000-7,000 years. You see that? It was born, it grew, it peaked, and then, like all things, it began to age. You see that? As a young man, I was very, very much, not ready to accept the fact that many of my heroes and heroines decline. I would go to the movies and see, actors who at one time were young, vibrant, people who are now old people in the 80s, decaying, and things of that nature. You see that? But nothing, you see, goes through a linear, life. Everything comes into this world, as a child, grows into adulthood, and then begins to decline, and eventually dies. In the process of declining, you see, the collective mind, the collective brain, the single brain of a single person begins to deteriorate, and then all kinds of, incorrect practices begin to seep in to the life of the individual, and the life of the collective, and so on. So there's collective growth, collective birth, growth, decline, and death, and rejuvenation. You see that? And, reincarnation. And what we are experiencing now is the rebirth of Kemet. You see that? You know, you're not experiencing, Egypt through the lens of museums. You are experiencing ancient Egypt, you see, in your mind, in your body, in your psyche, in your spiritual. Those meditations that you did for Herukhuti are the same ones you did 7,000 years ago. You see that? You just don't live once. You reincarnate to take the experiences to a much higher level, than you did back in 6,000 BC. So that is the law. We are born, we grow, we peak, we decline, we die, to come back again. We call it the repetition of births. That's a Kemetic name for regeneration and for reincarnation. You see that? The repetition of births. This is very important teachings in Kemetic spirituality. I hope I answered your question well. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful, beautiful life. Peace and blessings.